Glossy, flavorful, soft, and fluffy. These hot cross buns are going to be your next favorite recipe because they turn out amazing. They're best served over tea or coffee, or you can enjoy the buns as a snack. You're going to need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, some dried fruits, salt, sugar, yeast, a few spices, mainly 2 spices, and I have some margarine, eggs, and lukewarm water. So into your mixing bowl, you're going to be adding in the dry ingredients, and I'm going to start with my all-purpose flour. Add in a 1/4 cup of sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, 10 grams of instant yeast, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of mixed spices. Then using a whisk, you're going to whisk in all the dry ingredients until fully combined. If you're not using instant yeast, you can add in a little bit of the lukewarm water, add in your yeast and a teaspoon of sugar. Then you're going to let the yeast bloom. But because I'm using instant yeast, I'm just going to get straight into making these delicious hot cross buns. So into my bowl, I'm going to add in the wet ingredients. So I'll start off with 3/4 cup of lukewarm water, crack in 2 eggs, mix using a spoon or a wooden spatula until a shaggy dough is formed. If you notice that your dough is not mixing up well, you can add in a teaspoon or a tablespoon of water at a time and knead until all the dry ingredients are fully combined to the wet. Then you're going to go in with your hands and knead for around 2 minutes. So I'm going to fold in the dough, lift and fold. The cinnamon powder and mixed spices is going to add in a very nice flavor to the buns. So once your dough is fully combined just like this, you're going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of margarine or softened butter. Then you're going to knead for an extra 3 to 4 minutes until the dough is very soft and elastic. As you knead your dough, it's going to be a little bit messy, but after around 2 minutes, you'll notice that the margarine is fully combining into the dough. If you have a stand mixer, you can use that to knead your dough, but today we are doing it manually because not everyone owns a stand mixer. You can also transfer to your countertop, which is going to be very easy for you to knead the dough until it's soft and elastic. After 2 minutes, this is how my dough is looking. And as you can see, the margarine is fully combined, so I'm going to knead for an extra 2 minutes just to get the gluten working. That is to activate the gluten. I'm going to transfer to my countertop and sprinkle a little bit of flour. This is how my dough is looking after 4 minutes. So I'm going to add in my dried fruits, and I'm using grapes. Fold in until the fruits are evenly distributed in the dough. Then I'm going to transfer to my bowl, add in a teaspoon of cooking oil, spread the oil in the dough just like this. Once more, I'm going to tack my dough, and don't worry if you notice some fruits popping from the dough. It's quite okay. Then I'm going to wrap up with my cling film and rest for around an hour or until doubled up in size. You can also use a wet kitchen towel. And this is going to prevent the dough from drying out. After 40 minutes, this is how my dough is looking like. It's quite hot, so it has doubled up in size super fast. So I'm going to remove the plastic wrap, place it aside. Then I'm going to punch. Remove all the excess air pockets. Transfer to my countertop. So I'll begin by sprinkling in some flour. Place my bowl aside. Then I'm going to knead for another minute. This is to remove all the air from the dough. As you can see, the dough is not sticky at all. It's well rested. So it's perfect to proceed to the next step. You're going to need a weighing scale. If you don't have a weighing scale, you'll just eyeball. So I'm going to divide the dough into 100 grams. So I'm going to put on my scale. I have 114. So I'm going to cut the dough, make sure it's 100. $101, that is not too bad. So I'm going to place aside and weigh out the rest of the dough. Once you're done, you're going to pick your dough, tuck in the bottom just like this, making a smooth top. Then you're going to transfer to a tray, a baking tray. Mine is non-stick, so if you don't have a non-stick pan, you can use you can place in parchment paper so that your buns don't stick on the tray. Pick the next one, repeat until I'm done. Don't worry if some of the dried fruits are popping out. When done, you're going to cover with a kitchen towel and rest for around 20 minutes. And during this time, the dough is going to double up in size again. For the next step, you're going to need half a cup of all-purpose flour and water together with 1 egg for egg wash. So into your small bowl, you're going to add in a tablespoon of water at a time as you mix. Don't want to add in too much water because you don't need a thin batter. Once the dough is fully combined, you're going to mix until all the dry ingredients are fully combined with the water, just like this. And this is what we're going to be using to make our crosses on the buns. So this is how the buns are looking after 20 minutes, and they're looking so gorgeous. They've doubled up in size again. So you're going to need 1 egg, which you're going to whisk up. Carefully, you're going to spread your egg wash on the buns, and this is going to add a gorgeous golden brown color while the hot cross buns are baking. Next, you're going to transfer the butter to your piping bag. So I'm going to fold the sides so that it can be easier for me to place in the dough. Make sure it's not too runny because it's going to flow on the buns. Then I'm going to twist, and using a scissors, I'm going to snip my piping bag a little bit. And then I'm going to make straight lines running from top to bottom, just like this. When done, you are going to bake your hot cross buns at 180 degrees Celsius for around 18 to 20 minutes. Wow, wow, wow. Just look at my hot cross buns. They're looking so delicious. So immediately they're from the oven, you're going to add in a tablespoon and a half of sugar. Add in around 2 tablespoons of water. Then you're going to mix. And once ready, you're going to use a kitchen brush and brush in the sugar syrup on the buns. And this is going to add in a nice glossy look to the buns, as well as add in a little bit of sweetness once you bite into the buns. Once your buns are cold, you're going to transfer to a tray or to a cooling rack. Then carefully you're going to place the hot cross buns in a very nice way that you can see the crosses on top. So this is a very nice way that you can indulge your kids, because we've been watching these hot cross buns for a long time because of the kids, and they'll be super excited because the buns are very flavorful. They have a very nice cinnamon and mixed spices flavor, and the dried fruits are going to add in sweetness to the buns. So this recipe is worth trying because it has been around 2 hours and my hot cross buns are ready. Hope you give this recipe a try.